Close your eyes for a second and try to imagine absolute nothingness. Most of us can't do it. Our minds instinctively rebel against the idea that one day all subjective experience simply stops. But what actually happens when the physical body fails? Physics and cosmology are now mapping 3 distinct routes through this void, rigorous mathematical frameworks suggesting that what we call the end is actually a transition. For centuries, classical physics gave us a very strict linear set of rules. You are born, you live, and you die. Under this Newtonian model, the brain is a machine made of meat. Consciousness is the output of that machine. When the gears stop turning, the output stops. Complete darkness. But modern physics broke that model. When researchers examine the universe at the smallest levels, they find particles existing in superposition, a state where something occupies a fuzzy cloud of probability, existing in multiple potential states at once until it is observed. Reality at the bottom level is fluid. This presents a massive loophole. If the base ingredients of our universe don't follow strict rules of absolute, finite endings, the complex consciousness built out of those exact same ingredients may follow a different path. The first door leads to a concept proposed by physicist Hugh Everett in 1957. It's called the many worlds interpretation. Everett looked at quantum probability and concluded that the universe never actually chooses a single outcome. Instead, every time a quantum event occurs, reality splits. This means there isn't just one universe. There are infinite universes, growing outward like branches on a tree. Every possible outcome of every possible event actually happens, just in a different branch. Physicist Max Tegmark takes this a step further with an idea called quantum immortality. Imagine a hypothetical machine that has a 50% chance of ending your life, triggered by a quantum coin flip. To an outside observer watching you, your chances of surviving multiple flips approach 0, but your consciousness can only perceive the branches where it continues to exist. It physically cannot experience a branch where it has stopped. So from your subjective perspective, your thread of awareness constantly bypasses the dead ends. You always find yourself in the branch where the machine fails. Now, this is a mathematical interpretation of quantum mechanics, and it is a subject of fierce debate among physicists. Testing it objectively from the outside is currently impossible, but the math holds a distinct implication. While outside observers might witness your timeline end, from your own first-person perspective, an absolute ending is mathematically impossible to experience. Not all physicists agree with the infinite branching of many worlds. The second door takes us away from the multiverse and shrinks us down into the microscopic biology of our own neurons. This leads us to ORC, which stands for Orchestrated Objective Reduction. It's a theory developed by anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose, a physicist who won the Nobel Prize for his work on black holes. Penrose and Hameroff suggest that the brain is not a computer generating thoughts. Instead, they propose that consciousness is a physical process based on quantum gravity. Deep inside our brain cells are tiny structural tubes called microtubules. According to the theory, these structures are small enough to host delicate quantum superpositions. When these superpositions reach a specific energy threshold, they collapse, creating a discrete moment of conscious experience. This happens right at 40 Hz, the exact frequency of the gamma waves measured in an active, conscious human brain. If consciousness is tied to the quantum geometry of the universe, physical death looks entirely different. When the biological body stops functioning, the quantum information held in those microtubules isn't deleted. It simply loses its containment. It dissipates. It logs out of the biological host and returns to the broader cosmic field. Mapping consciousness directly to quantum gravity is a profound leap. Mainstream neuroscience still heavily favors the classical, computational model of the brain, leaving ORCH-OR as a brilliant but currently unproven hypothesis. In this model, the mind exists as fundamental, indestructible data. When the biological shell fails, that information simply returns to its cosmic source. The third door contains the deepest inversion of how we understand reality. Proposed by Dr. Robert Lanza, this framework is known as biocentrism. The standard scientific model claims that the universe existed first, eventually evolved complex matter, and a tiny fraction of that matter woke up to become conscious. Lanza argues that we have this entirely backwards. Biocentrism states that consciousness exists first. Consciousness projects the universe, and physical matter emerges as a result of that projection. Just as we know a quantum particle doesn't lock into a definite state until an observer measures it, biocentrism scales that up to everything. Space and time are not hard physical objects. They are biological lenses. They are the software our minds use to organize the raw information of the cosmos. If space and time are tools created by your consciousness, then your consciousness must operate outside of them. The entire concept of a linear timeline with a definitive beginning and an absolute end is a biological illusion. The projector cannot be destroyed by the boundaries of the movie it is currently playing. Biocentrism flips the standard models so completely that many scientists classify it as a philosophical framework rather than a testable physical theory. But it elegantly answers mysteries like the observer effect, suggesting that awareness itself is the bedrock of existence. Branching timelines, quantum gravity in our cells, the mind as the projector of time itself. These three models converge on a single radical conclusion. Consciousness operates as a fundamental, active participant in the universe's construction, far outlasting the biological systems that momentarily host it. If any of these models hold true, it reframes exactly what you are. You are not an isolated glitch destined for permanent deletion. Whether you are navigating infinite branches, processing quantum data, or projecting the geometry of space, your choices and observations are actively shaping the structure of reality. That means we can stop viewing our eventual end with pure terror. We can replace that fear with a drive to experience the present moment, knowing our connection to the universe is far deeper than classical biology suggests. The fact that you have a subjective experience at all, that you can hear these words and understand them, is a physical miracle. You are the universe experiencing itself, and that experience may just be eternal. Thank you for watching. If this touched something real inside you, please share with someone who needs it. And if you want to go deeper, subscribe and thank you.